We recap Jacob Fatu, who Michael Cole notes has been using the rare but fabled Tongan death grip. Oh, the fables that I've heard about the Tongan death grip. Corey Graves adds, it cannot be learned in wrestling school. It can only be handed down. It causes nerve issues because the pain goes straight to the Adam's apple. It was like, if they spent half the time trying to get submissions over as much as they have this Tongan death grip, I mean, they could get anything over as devastating. I mean, they are, I give them a lot of credit. Like, this is a very basic move that people associate with Haku, and they are trying so hard, and Roman too, in these segments to really make this feel like, I just hope when he uses this move on Saturday, I hope the crowd reacts to it like it's a big deal.
Oh, they already do. They already react to it like it's, I mean, like an ultimate finisher. You know, I think they've done a tremendous job, and it all feels incredibly old school. You know, in ways that for whatever reason, maybe like, you know, audiences later on wouldn't have bought it, but like this feels like the exact same type of thing you would say about a move like this in the 80s. Or maybe even prior to, you know, that. And I think we all, I've heard no criticism of it. Like, this is, to me, fun. And it's also, like, fun to get into, to suspend your disbelief, to think that something like this could be, like, this sort of mystical death touch of pro wrestling.
And then the final segment is Roman and Jacob's contract signing. They are out. Adam Pearce also out. More printing of papers. Roman's logic is that he opened up the door for Solo to join WWE. Therefore, by Solo bringing in Jacob, Roman is responsible for bringing Jacob to WWE.
Okay. I mean, does that work? Does that work for you?
I thought Jacob's comeback should be, well, then, Roman, that means you just fired JC and Tonga Loa, didn't you?
Well, who brought Roman in?
Cameron Seaman.
The real tribal chief.
The tribal chief, Canyon. So he says, Roman explains the ethics of using the Tongan death grip, okay?
Yes,
only at 3 a.m. in a bar when it's 8-on-1. Which Haku never got that memo, but you never use the Tongan death grip on family, on the tribal chief. That's a last resort. It's like a firearm way.
Was he's at the face, you know, like, I mean, Glacier, you know, like that's like facing an 8-on-1.
Could you imagine if it had been CM Punk here being told, you know, it's only a last ditch effort when you have an unruly fan. That's when you pull out the Tongan death grip.
Sure.
Maybe Punk's going to ask to be handed down this move for future to use does the death grip work on a cell phone? Fatu says he is desperate with his back against the wall. He needs to take out Roman and all that he has. I'm going to put a chokehold on this game and squeeze every dollar and cent just the way this company has done our family for decades.
Fascinating.
I'm going to unionize this place. Know what I mean? And he says he will never go back to where he came from. So I like this pro-labor Jacob Fatu character. They could use someone like this as a babyface. He's going to do anything for his household. Roman explains, you've got 7 kids. I've got 170 kids in this family to worry about. I've got generations of wealth to figure out. This is my ring. We might be equal in the family, but you are beneath me in here, and that's enough. Fatu all of a sudden looked at his watch, and it said 3 a.m, and he goes for the Tongan death grip, and Roman's fighting it off. He goes for a Superman punch right back into the Tongan death grip and gets put through a table as Jacob signs the contract, and the whole place is chanting Fatu. And I've got to say, on 3 weeks, I think they've done a hell of a job here with Jacob Fatu. I don't think too many people believe this man's winning, but I think they've done a really great job of this Tongan death grip. He's a great talker and has had that chance. And to his credit, dude, Roman's been excellent in just about all of these angles of selling the Tongan death grip, of being, you know, he's conveyed like this is the dangerous wild card of the family that I don't know if I can put this guy down. Like there's that doubt he's conveyed in all of this. So I think both guys have done great, and you know, hopefully they have a really awesome main event on Saturday. It's a super big match for Jacob Fatu, obviously.
For a 3-week build, I think they've done a tremendous job with this. I think it's been better than I could say several like WrestleMania feuds that were built up for that particular show. I think Reigns has been awesome throughout this entire build. I thought he was awesome tonight. He's essentially playing the role of mob boss, lashing out at maybe one of his soldiers who is not falling in line. And I found his dialogue and logic in his words quite compelling. He offered strong counters to all of Jacob's prior criticisms from prior promos. Jacob has been grinding for 12 years to get here, but Roman, like, I think rightfully tells him, I've been grinding for the 12 plus years that I've actually been here. Even though you want this position, like, essentially, can you handle it? Can you handle being given the ball like I have been, like my ability to run with it? Jacob is focused on feeding his own family, while Roman is concerned about feeding his entire family tree. But I found Jacob's line to be quite fascinating about like acknowledging how this company has been like squeezing his family for generations, and coming from what I'm perceiving to be the babyface in this feud, at least more so than Roman. That is again a really interesting sort of like self-critical line to script for the babyface to, especially like given current sentiment about management, for him to say on screen. You know what I mean?
Well, it's definitely a line this week that will it will certainly land with the audience you want it to. That will work for this audience that you're trying to sway.
Yeah, but the best part to me has been just how explosive Fatu has been, especially with like the Tongan death grip is like the perfect move. Because it requires no setup time. You could be like, standing face to face with the person, and then the next you're putting on your ultimate submission move on him. And Jacob's intensity in applying it is tremendous. I think the announcers do a very good job. I think Roman does a tremendous job selling it like it's death. And they had some really fun sequences where he latched it on, broke free, put it on again. And I think I'm almost sad to see this feud potentially end after Sunday, because I think there's just so much more life to it, than just the 3 weeks.
Yeah, I do think this will be a net positive that gets Jacob Fatu at least up to that, like, not tippy top level, but right below it as well. And there's definitely more juice to squeeze from this program. I feel like to just wrap it up on Saturday would seem premature. And
Agreed.
Like, you've got Saturday night's main event, you've got another show in 3 weeks after Backlash as well. And quite frankly, you need baby faces, and Jacob Fatu is certainly in the long term going to be one of those guys for them. So I think overall this is going to be fine for Jacob Fatu. And like just contrast this to the amount of time they put into Roman and Solo Sikoa, and I don't think it ever hit this this kind of level where you had a threat for Roman as Jacob has been presented in these couple of weeks to lead up to this. So if the Post Wrestling Cafe were to undergo a drug test in the month of May, we would be testing positive because we are overloaded with content. We are going to be reviewing Hulk Hogan, Real American, all 4 episodes this month. Plus, we will go inside the Manosphere with a review of the latest Louis Theroux documentary. We will also have coverage of the Ronda Rousey-Gina Carano fight, also taking place on Netflix. Rewind Away tackles WCW Super Brawl 2, and we cover NXT TakeOver Brooklyn from 2015. All that, plus all of the XL editions on a weekly basis, Collision Course, Daredevil Born Again, and so much more. It can all be yours at postwrestlingcafe.com. $8 gets you in the door.